Why does every abandoned hospital have to be haunted? He asked me. Same reason every other building is. Makes a better story. I leaned against the chain link fence that reached around the property. Do you know the story about this place? The kid looked up at me, squinted, and shook his head. He was eager to go inside, but I had to prolong the wait. The build-up had to be just right, because without it, there would be no big payoff. No big payoff, and the kid would want his $20 back. I needed the money more than he did. It used to be a sanatorium, a place for people with tuberculosis to come and die. Die? I had the kid already. I had to be careful and not overdo it. Back in the day, I continued, there was no cure for TB. Sure, there were treatments, but nothing could save those poor people. There's a cure now? I nodded. It was a dangerous time to get sick, but if you did, you came to a place like this and, at best, hoped to die with as little pain as possible. Anyways, it was in the 1930s that the killings began. It was bad enough that those TB patients were on death's door anyway, but to be stalked and killed by some psycho? That's horrible. You're lying. Killer only got 13 people. 2 of them were children, stabbed them in the chest, over and over. The cops never caught him. Killings just stopped and life went on until the government shut the place down in 1946. I had to make the story horrible, but not overly fantastic. Just the right amount of realism was enough to make a believer. I planted the seed and watered it. Now the rest was up to him. You still want to go? I asked. He nodded. The hospital wasn't so scary in the daylight. I was hesitant about leading the kid inside and walking through the place, but only because I didn't need the kid to freak out and hurt himself. Or me. Empty buildings like this one were minefields of collapsing floors and ceilings, not to mention any human dangers lurking within. The 3-story building had seen better days, but I wasn't here to sightsee. Making this easy money was my only aim. You ready? I asked when we reached the 6 steps that led up to the entrance. There used to be plywood covering the doorway, but I tore it down the night before. Nothing creepy that night except me. I can give you your money back now, but once we go in, there's no turning back. Just the first floor? The other floors are too dangerous. We go in here and straight out the back. That much was true. I'm ready, he replied. Up we went. Despite the noon sun beating down on us on the way over, I felt a chill as we left the light and plunged into the still darkness within. Okay, I'm being overly dramatic. It was just another day and this was another building. Nothing special. It was just as hot inside as it was out. I led the way, but the kid stuck close. I glanced back. He was already taking in the sights of the rotting walls, the sounds of the creaking floor. He was like a kid in a toy store looking around with his mouth agape. I could tell he was getting his $20 worth out of this. I turned back around. I thought I heard the kid giggle. And that was the last thing I remembered before waking up on the front steps. It was still day. The sun was still high. It couldn't have been long after I took the kid inside. Where was he? What happened in there? I felt fine. No pain, no mental fog. It was as if I was switched off, moved outside, then switched back on. I waited on the front steps for about an hour, trying to figure out what was going on. I felt my face baking. That was the only thing I was sure of, that sunburn. I could have gone back inside to look for the kid. I still had his 20. I owed him that much, right? I couldn't even recall what he looked like or what he wore, but I had his money. I took him inside like he wanted. I could have gone back to look for him. When I finally got up and walked the long walk home, I wondered about the real history of the hospital. Was it really a TB hospital? Was it really a hospital? I considered doing some research, but when I got home, something in the back of my mind told me not to pursue any investigating. Somehow, my instinct knew that nothing good would come of it. So I didn't research. I never went back to the hospital. I never spent that 20. I never thought about the kid. Until now. I'm standing at the chain-link fence surrounding the abandoned hospital. It's the middle of the day. I don't know why I'm here. I just felt the urge to come. I have to go in. I'm pushing myself toward that building, toward that dark opening. I'm going to walk in and then right out the back. Maybe I'll find the kid there and he'll ask me some questions and I'll answer them. I won't charge him. In fact, I might give him his money back. I have to go back in. I have to go because I want to know why I can't remember leaving. Did I see something in the hospital that my brain couldn't handle? Or did I do something? She won't die. I've tried to kill her like they instructed on the news, but either I'm not doing it right or they're wrong. Honestly, I don't think I could go through with it anyway. What have I done to deserve this? What have any of us done? I watch TV. She lays in bed moaning. She's always hungry, never thirsty. I don't think water's touched her body since this thing began last year. Me, I drink constantly. The other night I drained 3 bottles of vodka, got slightly buzzed, but fell asleep before I could enjoy it. In my sleep, I still hear her, in the bedroom, softly moaning my name. I can't remember the last time I had sex with her. Maybe I should try now. Funny. She'd probably bite my prick off. I visit her a few times a day, but I think I'm gonna cut back. She looks the same. She wastes away the same. I bring her food, oatmeal, white bread, the government rations, but she doesn't eat anything. Yet she still complains about being hungry. I haven't eaten in over a month. I watch the news daily and nightly. It's all that's really on. Sometimes I turn it off and go to the window and look out. No one but the government goons are allowed out. I see them deliver rations and other needs to other apartments. They used to wear biohazard suits, but now they're bareheaded and wear jeans. Everyone's giving up, I guess. Before the world went to heaven, popular thought and fiction dictated that the world would be pure chaos, a nightmare. The opposite became true. The government goons calmly walk around. The newscasters talk in civil tones. Even in the beginning, there was no real cause for concern. I couldn't sleep last night, so I looked in on her. She was sleeping, quiet. She looked beautiful in the soft light, like before, like always. I went to the living room and picked up the phone. I called for a woman. The government operator told me she'd have to put me on a standby list. I hung up on her. They had my name and number already, so there was no need for further talk. I spent the night finishing the last bottle of vodka. I had to call in an order for that, too. Something exploded earlier today. Apartment walls and windows rattled violently. This sparked her bellowing. "Feed!" she yelled and would continue to yell the rest of the day. She stopped when night hit, but she moaned. She's still moaning. I ventured out. The first time in a year. I saw and met no one. I'm not sure anyone's left. I tried killing her again last night. She didn't yell at me to stop. No fight. After my failure, she looked up at me and smiled. Then she closed her eyes and turned her head away from me. "Good night," I told her. I don't care. I feel so alone. Everything's running normally. Water, electricity, the sun, weather, the days. Maybe I'll take a hot shower, put on some fresh clothes, go outside. Maybe.